Make sure to use my creator code RMPG, send me a tweet of you using it to be in a future video, and also shout out to my channel members. Anyway, enjoy. Minecraft has been quite the interesting game when it comes to its lifespan. Once one of the biggest games of all time, to then fall under after tons of controversy, just to come back again in 2019 to be just as big, if not bigger than originally, developing an entirely brand new community. But as the years pass from this newly found success, is the game beginning to see a dip again? Well, before we look into the actual numbers and other factors, I just want to mention that this game is never gonna die. Realistically, I understand the community of the game right now is so ridiculously big that until the game literally shuts down their servers, there's always going to be a dedicated community for this game, and either way, we are years and years from even discussing such thing. So starting super basic, we could take a look at a Google Trends graph, the measurement of how many times the game is being searched up. And in this case, it actually holds more weight than normal because this search result would include both people looking up things about the game and people looking up where to download the game, as it runs on its own software rather than something like Steam or Epic Games. And well, based on this graph, we see that Minecraft is in fact on a significant dip right now. In fact, the game is doing the worst in search results ever since March of 2020. Now, some people could consider this enough of a statistic to just assume the game is dying and walk away, but while I see this as something worth noting, we need to look into why this game isn't being searched up as much. Well, the first red flag to help explain this negative graph is the lack of viewers on Twitch and YouTube. I grabbed 3 examples of the biggest Twitch streamers and looked up some of their statistics using a few sites. And as we see with all of them, there is one thing in common, which is this red downward arrow by all of their statistics, and these aren't small numbers in the slightest. This is something overall we have been seeing in the popular Minecraft Dream SMP series in general. Now, if you don't know what the Dream SMP is, you may just not even know what Minecraft is or what a video game is, but just in case, the Dream SMP is a Minecraft private server where Dream and a select few individuals hop on and play together on stream, often involving role-playing as well. Well, this SMP got insanely popular, and all of the streamers I had just shown you had been streaming that exact SMP. But as we see in all these streamers, the average viewer rates are dramatically dropping, and it seems clear the SMP is beginning to lose its initial hype, along with Dream, the creator of this in general. As looking at its top 10 most viewed videos of all time, there's just 4 videos released in the past year, and 0 videos released in the past 5 months. I don't want to put this all on the viewers losing interest either, however, because the core streamers are simply just not streaming the game at all anyway. Carl, for example, in the first half of the year averaged 12.5 hours of streaming every month, including June when he took a month off. However, so far in the second half of the year, the most he streamed in a month was 8.7 hours total. And this has been a theme across many of the streamers as well. And looking back at this dropping Google Trends graph, whenever the streamers began to push this game back is when the game began to see a major drop. Another big issue with Minecraft is the slow decline in server popularity. To a lot of people watching this, Minecraft may seem like a casual survival game, and that's how a lot of you have played it, but a big part of Minecraft has been built upon public servers that host mini games and challenges for people around the world to play together. However, over time, these servers have seemingly began to decline, and a few even entirely died out. The biggest server of all time, for example, Hypixel, at the beginning of the year was averaging around 100,000 active players, give or take a few. However, heading to the second half of the year, we've seen a consistent drop in average all the way down to where we are right now, where the servers average 64,000 players. And there's even servers like Skycade that went from being one of the biggest servers around throughout the past couple of years that nowadays can't even break 50 players. Now, I can definitely understand the argument that things like viewers on Twitch don't correlate to the popularity of the game directly, but this example in particular is a clear indication that the player numbers are dropping. And while we can't look directly into how many people are actively playing the game entirely, this gives us a good indicator of such. So it seems like there's quite a bit of evidence that the game is dying out, but what does any of this mean? Well, quite clearly, we saw the game make a historic comeback, but if you're familiar with this channel or any other downfall in a game, once you reach the peak popularity, there's usually only one way to go afterwards. And this doesn't have to mean the entire end of the game. We've seen Fortnite take dips while it's still in its 4th year of being on top. But basically, as with pretty much every other game, Minecraft is beginning to die after it peaked, but the thing that's really concerning about it is the fact that it's dropping really quickly. But why is that? Well, if we think back to 2019, the game had become popular again thanks to nostalgia and promotions from YouTubers like PewDiePie. Minecraft had become cool again. It had a previous history of being a silly game for little kids, and I don't think the constant controversies where people would make Minecraft content with the goal of attracting these children was doing them any favors. But eventually, as the new community came around to create content, a brand new hatred for the game was a consequence of such. I could probably just say the word stands, and a lot of you guys would understand exactly what I'm talking about. But to elaborate, we had already talked about how popular people like Dream were and still are, pulling tens of millions of views with every single video. But let's just say there's people out there who really liked him and his friends, even maybe a little too much. The word stan started to become a popular term pretty much out of nowhere, referring to an Eminem song titled the same thing where an obsessed fan commits multiple crimes because he wanted a response from his biggest idol. A song literally wrote to display how unhealthy it is to obsess over somebody for so long, things that the rapper had been said to have experienced. And when these big Dream obsessors started to raid Twitter and other platforms, people labeled them naturally as stans. How come? Well, because these obsessive fans began to go crazy over people like Dream and Tommy Innit, along with other members of the Dream SMP, to the point where art and fanfictions were being created that eventually started to involve not safe for work content, if you know what I'm talking about. And with this new trend of obsessing over Minecraft content creators, it had started to put dirt on the Minecraft name once again. Whereas people before didn't like the childish reputation of Minecraft, nowadays people started to not like the obsessive stan-like behavior seen nowadays, and the numbers seem to back it up as we had mentioned previously. I already know this video topic is going to be controversial, and trying to explain why the game is dropping so fast is all theoretical and could be for 1,000 reasons. But I think regardless of reason or severity of the situation, everybody here I hope can at least agree that going back to the initial question regarding if the game is dying, well, that the answer is yes. Now, before you dislike and comment that you hate all my videos and my voice and my cats, because yeah, people have said things like that, hear me out. Is the game dying, or to rephrase, losing popularity? Yes. But does this mean that the game is in any sort of danger though? Probably not, honestly, and here's why. Looking at every statistic I showed you at the beginning of this video once again, the numbers are going down significantly. But Hypixel still had 60,000 players on at all times, and Dream is still pulling over 10 million views every video, and all of these Twitch streamers are still hitting 50,000 viewer ranges with every single stream. So while it's undeniable that the game is definitely on the decline, it's not like the game is actually anywhere near dying, nor will it probably ever be, because I mean, give it a few years and the game descends out of the biggest and best title once again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it just come back for the third time, because apparently this game is invincible. But of course, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is the game dying? Is it doing better than ever? And what do you think is in store for the future of the title? But that's all for this video. Subscribe.